Hello and welcome to Piano and Keyboard Artist, where we discuss the artists related to pianos, keyboards and synthesizers. Back with another ABBA video today. Now this is following the popularity of the first ABBA video which I released last week, and in that video we spoke all about the ABBA comeback, and I asked you guys your input and your feelings about the ABBA comeback, and in that video I also gave a few practical examples. It really was just a video just to scratch the surface and just to see what the interest was on ABBA in this community, and I was hugely surprised to see that there is a lot of interest about ABBA, and that doesn't surprise me because ABBA to me is one of the bands which transcend all genres. I've found a lot of people who like really heavy music or very out there music or whatever, everyone seems to agree that ABBA is great. I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people do. My good friend Simon Forsyth, who you've seen on this channel, he often says that ABBA, if you don't like ABBA, you don't like music. And this is coming from someone who is a huge Depeche Mode fan like myself. So I also went on to say that, you know, even if you don't like ABBA, a lot of the artists that you listen to or look up to have probably been influenced by ABBA, either directly or indirectly. But anyway, I want to keep today's video focused especially on Benny. Benny Andersson, one of the songwriters and the pianist, keyboardist of ABBA. Vaughn and Benny have gone on to write some of the greatest hits of our generation, and as far as I'm concerned, they're up there with the Beatles, Simon & Garfunkel. They are of the most influential songwriters in the history of modern music. I mean, I will disagree with anyone who disagrees with me on that, but ABBA have certainly earned their place in rock and roll history, and they've ticked all the boxes. Their music is all about sincerity. There's no ego in this music. It's just like pure bliss and pure love. And I must mention that I have listened to their new song, Don't Shut Me Down. I will do a specific video on that a little bit later down the line. But today, focusing on Benny. Benny is to me, he's the sort of I wouldn't say the more musical one, but he's the more sort of melodic one, I feel. And I want to demonstrate this using a few practical examples just to show you what I mean. Because if you listen to Benny's piano playing, it is very, very iconic. When you listen to it, you can just go, oh, okay, that is Benny playing. His piano playing is unmistakable. And the way he plays within the context of a pop record is sometimes a little bit, I don't want to say over the top. I mean, how can I criticize ABBA? But he just plays very melodically, and he plays in a very, very melodic way using a lot of arpeggios. He uses a lot of classical music influence, a little bit of jazz and a lot of folk, but he leans a lot into sort of classical styles, but it's done in a very subtle, tasteful way. It doesn't sort of lean too much into any genre, and this is what's beautiful about ABBA's music. It's just this melting pot of all the best genres put together, but without sort of forcing it in any particular direction. Benny's piano style is very musical, it's very melodic, it's very busy, there's a lot going on, but not busy in a distracting kind of way. It's just when you listen to what he's doing, he's not sort of just playing out block chords. He's really there's all these arpeggios and stuff. But the brilliance of the way Benny plays is it doesn't conflict with the lead vocal. Now, if you're a producer or a musician, you will know that you always need to leave space in a mix and in a song. And, you can't have every instrument playing over melodically at the same time. I guess you can. That's what we call progressive rock. But anyway, you know what I mean. Every instrument needs to leave space for the other one. Benny's piano playing is sometimes very busy, but not in a bad way, because it never ever clashes with the lead vocal, and it just adds a class to the song. There is a lot I can say about this, and it's so refreshing. Since this whole ABBA sort of craze started again, I've been listening to a lot of their music again, as I'm sure you have. It not only brought back a lot of memories, but it also made me realize how musical it is. And if we look at the way records are produced these days, we spend so much time editing and using a mouse and moving things around. You just get the feeling that when ABBA recorded, it was just like go in there and just play, and they recorded the performance. And this is why, and for many, many reasons, ABBA's music is absolutely fantastic. Their records, their delivery, and everything is world-class, and it's of the highest standards. But let's focus on Benny, shall we? I'm going to give you a few practical examples to explain to you what I mean. Let's take Dancing Queen. Watch this. You see, that part there is very, very classical. And he does throw a lot of those sort of like high hand octaves. And remember, guys, I'm not classically trained. I've never had a piano lesson in my life, so I'm explaining this from a very layman's terms point of view. But he does throw in that dun dun dun, and it's in a lot of examples. But I just know that that dun dun dun, that is a very sort of classical. You hear it a lot in classical music. I mean, Dancing Queen, as I said, a really, really overplayed song. It just reminds me of hen parties and drunken karaoke nights, but a great, great, timeless classic pop song. Let's take another one. Chiquitita? Is it Chiquitita? I can't pronounce it, but I can play it. It's just such a beautiful melody. But when Benny plays this, it's flowing, it's flowing, it's flowing. And what's beautiful about it as well, if you listen to it, it kind of variates in tempo because it's played, it's not programmed in, and this is what gives their music that real ebb and flow. Because it's, hey man, I love electronic music, but I just think, once again, coming back to today where everything is so overproduced and with such emphasis on making things perfect, it is so refreshing to go back to these records and just hear that sort of the ebb and flow and the way the song drifts and just the sheer musicality of it. And once again, it's very, very musical, it's very, very melodic, a lot going on, but it never, ever distracts with the lead vocal. And there are many sort of elements to this. The way the song starts is very sort of like classical musically influenced. And then later on, it goes on to a little bit of a folk sound. But I do love this particular chord change here. Just the way that chord comes in, it's just so, so beautiful, so, so stunning. And then at this part here, in the beginning of the record, Benny does this very classical music-like type thing. And it's got like it sounds like something from one of the great composers. And he just throws these little things in, and it's just so interesting to listen to. I sound like a real ABBA fanboy. I make no apologies for that. But just listen to Chiquitita. Just listen to that beginning part and just see all those little elements of classical music. Now, this video is not long enough for me to go into too much detail. I'm going to just give you another example now. And this one, SOS. And this part, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Very classical music sounding. Now, once again, I've not studied classical music, but we all know what classical music sounds like. And that's just a classical music type motive that is thrown in there. And then here it comes. This here is very, very classical music inspired. So it is just that run up to the chorus. And we've heard that a lot in lots of classical music from the great composers. Right, let's not get carried away, but coming back to Chiquitita, at the end of that song, it has this real sort of like carnival, almost like folk kind of feel. And what Benny does there, once again, starting off the song Chiquitita in a really, I said it right there, starting the song off in a very sort of like classical way, and then ending it in this sort of like almost like carnival type way is genius. And then he does this run up. Rum bum 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 bara bara bum 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 bum. Every song has so many layers and so much complexity, but in a very simple way, and it's hard to explain it. There are so many examples, but just using the example of Chiquitita, just the way it starts in that sort of like classical style and it ends up in this sort of like folk carnival type sound. It's brilliant, but but the way it evolves from that to the way it ends, it's just seamless, and it doesn't feel forced. And a lot of these things intellectually don't make sense, but hey man, this is just pure genius. We could say a lot more. There has been so much written on ABBA. There have been so many courses and studies done on their music and why it's so great and what knows. But all you need to take from this is that ABBA is brilliant. But you already know that, don't you? So now it's up to you, my friend. What do you think of ABBA in general? And specifically, what do you think of Benny's piano playing? If you're a pianist and a keyboardist out there, I'd love to hear your views on that. Just to me personally, I think ABBA has, I guess, because I haven't listened to it in a long time up until recently. And it's when you listen to it with the knowledge that you've gained over the years, you realize how brilliant it is. I loved it as a kid, and I love it even more now that I understand music a lot more. But something that I've noticed about Benny's piano playing is it's unashamedly melodic. And the reason I say that is certainly in the more recent records that I'm releasing, I do put a lot of very melodic piano on my records. And a lot of my producer friends sometimes say, "Oh, Vaughn, rein back the melody. There's too much melody." I disagree. I think you can never have too much melody. But hey, man, the way Benny does it is absolutely brilliant. So leave your comments below. Let me know what you think of Benny's piano playing, and anything you want to say about ABBA in general. And you'll be excited to know that I want to do in-depth videos on ABBA. Now, I'm not going to take them to the extreme like I did with my Depeche Mode album review series, but I do have a series on this channel which I call the song analysis series. And in that series, what I like to do is it's each episode take one song of ABBA and analyze it. So we'll take, let's say, The Winner Takes It All, for instance, and we'll analyze the whole song, break it down, and at the end I will do a piano breakdown of the song. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very happy to be speaking about ABBA. I hope you are happy to hear me speak about ABBA. Anything you want to say, comments below. Please subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Be safe. Adios.